I probably said this before about my background noise, that being out here in my studio, sometimes the noise can be kind of confusing because the switch is back and forth in my background. So if you can hear me, then try to do your best to bear with me right now until I get things adjusted. Because I am a nature man, and in my studio, I have a very large front yard, and I have like a large canopy out here, and I got some microphones set up, and I have some paperwork that I document, or you can say my notes, for when we are discussing about things. And so sometimes the sound can be kind of different, and I want you to have the best sound experience. So one of these days it'll get a little better. You know, my setup right now isn't as great. I don't have the pricey gadgets and expensive items where I could actually be a benefit to you at the moment, but I just got to rub my pennies together one piece at a time. You know, I'm just a standardized, average individual trying to make it happen in his world. But let's move forward with this conversation, Neo. I received a call in by a gentleman, and this fella had a lot to say that I am going to use as a teaching mechanism for you. And his questions was like this. Basically, he wanted to know what his purpose is in life now that he realized that women aren't going to be as compatible as they used to be. Now that we have the so-called liberation mindset where they are disabled to peer bond. And they also they have the ability to monkey branch. They are serious about not trying to build a equal community or environment with her mate. And so this man is quite troubled because he loves women, and I don't blame him. I love women myself. You know, women they're wonderful, smell good, feel good. Then don't get me started. Okay, the entire 9 yards. You can say the full football field. Okay. But his major goal as well is trying to find ground with all this because he's a bit angry and a bit upset, which is understandable. When you come across the red pill and you realize that you have been deceived and your mom and your dad were blue pill providers. They were blue pill providers to create this man to be a simp. And getting dumped in constant relationships, getting disappointed in constant relationships have done him no good. So I clearly understand his situation. But I am going to give you my version of the red pill here, which is going to expand a little further than just relationships and just his idea of purpose in life. And I'm going to give you some experiences of my own. And before we even get started, I am going to tell you this, that oftentimes it's not about trying to find purpose in life. Oftentimes it's not about making your purpose in life. If you ever hear anyone tell you, and trust me, I have taught many people. I speak to people around the country. I've spoken to foreigners who have come here from other places with a different mindset. All right. So this is not my first rodeo as your supporter, your empowerment provider. And of course, being Morpheus is that when I speak about something, I know about it. I know what I'm talking about. You do not need to always find a purpose. Sometimes in life, there is no purpose. The reason why you are here is to live your life. and just simply to exist and to survive and make the best out of what you can and your situation. The problem is oftentimes we are confused because there's many people speaking and saying one thing or another. There are so many people that are saying that you need to make a purpose of yourself or find a purpose in your life or pursue your purpose in life. And these people mean well. I hear them all the time. Other red pill providers are telling you that you need to focus on your purpose, stay on your grind. I agree with them 120%. And that's fair. But in everything that content providers provide to you, in everything that wise people will tell you, and your elders and great-minded men around the country, okay, you have to be able to decipher the differences between is it going to be or is it not going to be? Okay, or you could say to be or not to be. Okay, what they say is the truth, but you may not be able to pursue it because there may not be a purpose. There may not be another option. There may not be a ability at the moment. Now, such as traveling the world, going around places. Now, it is only conditioned for those who are able to do it. You see, you are able to pursue a purpose if you have the ability, if you have the freedom, if you have the mind to do so. You can travel the world, as what we always suggest. Go different places. Go out of the country. Go visit different girls, even though they're all the same, but still, you'll get a different result. Maybe in a different culture. You'll get a different experience, whether you travel, by car, by ground, or by air. Okay? And you will listen to this, and of course you will be like, yes, it's a good idea. I can do that if I pursue it aggressively, but I can't do it because maybe finances. Or maybe you are married. Maybe you have a 9-to-5 job and you are only stuck in that job and you got to be back to work Monday. So you can't really travel on a Saturday and Sunday when you have work to do at home, even though you would not mind traveling anywhere and everywhere, but it will take away your time from the things that you need to do at your home, your tasks, your responsibilities, your paying of the bills, and the list goes on. Okay, so they tell the truth when they say you need to travel the world to get a different experience. Yes, they are correct, but you may not be able to do that. Your finances and your lifestyle is not going to provide you with that opportunity. Okay, now we're going to shift to third gear here. This is included why we tell you, why I tell you, why other red pill providers tell you with as best as they can, is that you need to remain free. Do not sign the marital contract. Do not bind yourself down to individuals who are going to limit you and your success rate. Where when you want to be a minimized individual or man, even for some of you could be even women as well, okay? If you want to live your life where you have a cap over your spirituality, over your mind, over your success, over you just being who you are because you're being controlled by women who want to condition you, or people or society that wants to condition you as to what they want you to be, then you will not have the ability to pursue or make a purpose out of life, or to be free to experience the other things that life has to offer. So you limit yourself, even though you know you can or you should do so, you will be enabled, or shall I say disabled. So you become locked down in a sense of the matrix. See, the matrix that I speak of is a double-edged sword where just because you know it exists doesn't mean that you're free from it. You're free from it when you stay away from the things I just discussed. when you don't waste your time, as I talk about in my audios, when you stay on a principle and a standard, as I talk about, when you don't let indoctrination, which is religion or a religious mindset, or the negative opinions of people who want you to think as they think, okay, when you are in a mindset away from those things, then you are able to break away from the matrix. The matrix cannot contain you. You are not hooked up to the computer world. You are not senseless nor mindless. You have a sense of individuality and self. But when you do not listen to Morpheus and you do not take the red pill, but you want to take the blue pill, and you bind yourself to contract, you bind yourself to the limitations that I am trying to break you away from. You do not listen to my program. You do not take my red pill. You do not understand or overstand what I am telling you because of minor differences, because of the bombardment of information, because of opinions of other people, and because the way that you were raised and programmed. Therefore, one day you're going to receive the red pill, whether you like it or not. You're going to realize that you are not in Kansas City and everything around you is not made to promote you or to empower you. So you will know about it, you will see it, you will have the knowledge, but you would not be able to break away, because as you're trying to pull away from the machine, the wires are still connected to you. That's a tough situation to be in, where you are jumping out of your pod. You want to leave the pod. You want to leave the pod so you can get into the real world, but yet the wires of the pod is connected to you. It's connected to the back of your head. Or shall I say, the back of your head, the wire there may be disconnected, because you are aware now. You can see. You're not unconscious anymore. You are conscious. So you can see those wires aren't connected to you, but the wires that are in the pod are connected to you. It's connected to your legs, where you can't move or go anywhere. It's connected to your arms, where you cannot build anything or build purpose or build a life for yourself the way that it's supposed to be. You can't fight against the machine. So when the machines come to you to try to reconnect you to the matrix, okay, you are powerless to fight back. You're standing there trying to move and dodge your head left and right, and you're trying to, in frustration and in stubbornness, you try to avoid all the snares and the traps of putting you back into unconsciousness. Okay, which is distortion of your third eye, in which I tell you about in metaphysics. Where when you're eating bad food, when you're eating genetically modified food, bad ingredients, meats, heavy grease, high fructose corn syrup, sugar of all kind, and bad sugar. And I'll tell you before, if you're going to get sugar, make sure it's organic and make sure that it is dark. It is dark in color. Real sugar is dirty looking sugar, not white bleached sugar. Okay, if you're ever going to try any, make sure it's organic, but all sugar is no good anyway. Okay, but when you ignore that, you love your gas station fountain drinks. Okay, you love your slushies that they put all sorts of colors in it and high sugar, and some of it fake sugar that's going to tear up and destroy your system. Okay, those type of mechanisms, which I consider to be scientific poisoning, or you could say scientific weaponized food to distort your third eye and your consciousness, okay, then what will happen is your third eye will begin to fade away. You no longer have a clear window to be able to see, or have instincts to be able to see life for what it is. So therefore, you have an ability to be connected right back to the matrix. Well, it'll be easy for the machines to come to you and slap you in the head with their tentacles, okay, and connect you right back to the machine so they can make a battery out of you, so they can keep using you, so you can work in somebody's farm, so you can be cutting grass, so you can be a pawn, so you can be a servant to other powers, because you are powerless. Now, when it comes to women, my dear gentlemen, and probably it might apply to you women in reverse when it comes to men, there is a thing that we have a problem with in a westernized civilization, and I'm going to say it. It doesn't matter how you feel or what you think, because I really don't care about what you think, what Morpheus is getting ready to say, because I mean what I say, because I care about the future, and I definitely care about the future of children, because they deserve it, even if you don't want it. If you don't want it, that's on you. If you don't care about it, that's on you. But do not prevent the children of having the opportunity. And it's that thing called love and compassion. Love and compassion is important. It is vital to existence. It brings a sense of purpose, and it can boost you. It can give you motivation. It can give you a inspiration that nothing else can give you. This is why people have died for love, and have lived for love, and have serviced in hopes of love, or in expectation that that person or people who they are pursuing would eventually love them over time. Because that love will activate several things. It will activate intimacy. It will activate warmness. It will activate a comfort. It will activate people who are around you to be there for you anytime and anywhere, should you end up in any type of situation. There's nothing wrong with having that type of power in your life, in your environment, because it is a power, and many people need it, but some people don't want it, because we are becoming a cold-hearted world. We're becoming distant with ourselves. We're becoming lackadaisical, and we are forgetting about the basic structure of why we are here. And as I always teach you on an often basis, if you were meant to be here all by yourself as a single vessel, then why do you exist at all? That means you need to be the only person created. You're the only single human on the face of the planet. Nobody else is around you. Nobody else is working like you are. Nobody else drinks water like you. No one else walks like you. No one have experienced your experiences. No one knows anything about what you know as a human species. You'll be dead wrong to think that it's all about you. You will be out of your mind to think that you're only here to only be concerned about yourself. All right. Now, on the other end of that, the only time when this happens, now this is going to be a very strong thing for you to understand. A leader is usually alone. A leader is usually alone. What that means is, sometimes you do have to break away, and you're going to be all by yourself in order to survive. Sometimes you're going to feel like you are in your own space bubble. You are in your own dimension. Nobody understands you. And oftentimes you got to do that to protect yourself. You have to do that to avoid all the snares and the traps of the matrix, or you could say the machine world. Oftentimes, you have to stand out and stand above, and you have to do what it takes to create your own island, whether in your spiritual world, whether in your physical world, or whether in your heart, whereas you are protecting the values that you know of, because you don't want it compromised by the deception of Agent Smith, which is machines in the form of flesh, machines in the form of human bodies, to pretend to you to be something that it is not, which its whole intentions is to create this atmosphere where you are lost mentally and unconscious. Okay, so in that realm, you have to distance yourself from the idea of love and the idea of companionship and the idea of compassion, because those things have been used as deception in the name of love, compassion, and also donkey dunking. Okay, women of all kind and some men have been used as Agent Smith deterrents or agents, okay, to destroy you by just simply saying, I love you, or I will love you, or yes, let's donkey dunk, or I'll spend time with you. All the while their plan was to stab you as soon as they get close enough to get to you. As soon as they get close enough to get to you, they'll soften you off by saying this: oh, I love God. I'm a follower of Jesus. Okay, I'm a follower of this. I am a Catholic. I am a Baptist. I am a Muslim. I would never do this to you. I would never do it. Okay, then now you're soft. Now you are convinced because they use those magic words: love, compassion, God, fearing, respect, and of course, donkey dunking, which would be in action, which gives you a sense of intimacy, but it's empty. You have a sense of fulfillment because it's just sexual fulfillment, but your soul and your mind will be far off and you'll be consistently lost. So it will be used as a tool to convince you that there is some love and some compassion there, but it is not there. It's just used to get close to you, and then eventually they will stab you. They will send you under in divorce court. They will send you under by breaking up with you and taking your children. They'll send you under, by bait and switching you somewhere along the line in the relationship, whereas now your soul is broken. Because Agent Smith have amped up his game from just the physical. Now it's no longer the fact that he is ignorant to your human nature. Agent Smith has known for a long time that the human species is a social species. Love and compassion is what a lot of people want. They desire that, and they need that to a degree. So therefore, in order to break you from leaving the matrix, in order to break your soul and spirit, in order to truly conquer you, Agent Smith have desired to conquer your soul, have desired to conquer your inner mind, have desired to conquer you from within. When you destroy a man's mind, they have already lost the war. If you destroy a man's soul, he is dead. If you conquer and manipulate a man's mind, he have lost the war. If you destroy a man's soul and spirit, he is already dead, as if he never existed. So in order to do that is more than physical. You can be knocked down, you'll get up. You can break a leg, you will heal in the hospital. You get scars, you get lacerations, incisions, whatever it is, you will heal. You can even heal from burns. Go to the doctor, he'll patch you up, he'll give you some lotion, some medication, some creams. You're able to leave the hospital and go kicking it once again. But that's not Agent Smith's angle. His angle is to eliminate you completely. So therefore, you find yourself looking for purpose. You find yourself looking for a reason, because those reasons are taken from you. Because now you have no choice but to build your island. You have no choice but to disconnect yourself from the idea of love, because love has been used as a weapon. So you don't want to stand on it anymore. You don't trust it anymore. You don't think that it is valuable anymore, because you have not received any value from it. You have not received any quality from it, because most people that you meet are Agent Smiths. Most people that you meet don't even know what love is, because they don't have love within them, and they can't provide love to you, and they have no interest in providing love to you, because they are connected to the matrix. They are the machine now. They look like human, but they are the machine. They are the machine as Terminators to destroy your success. But all the while, my Neo, listen to me carefully, all the while, that doesn't mean that love is irrelevant. It's still relevant. That doesn't mean that compassion is pointless. It does have its points. That doesn't mean that peer bonding and cooperating or collaborating with the opposite sex, or even building a life with someone special, is irrelevant. It is relevant. It's still important. But those are values that we need not to just look over, because that's what Agent Smith wants. You see, not only are you defeated by being pushed onto your island where you are protecting yourself from getting broken, from getting divorced, robbed, from getting hurt again, from ending up in a divorce court, from getting bait and switched again, from her jumping from one branch to the other. Not only are you doing that, now you are defeated twice over, because now you're not even looking back to see the value that's been left on the branch. You're not looking at love anymore. You don't trust love anymore. You don't trust the idea of love anymore. But yet it's a very necessity. So Agent Smith still wins. He's winning. He wins twice over. Now you on the island, and there's nothing there but you. Now you're just taking care of you. There's nothing there but you. But yeah, sure. You know who Agent Smith's going to sit along? He'll send a donkey dunk partner. Sure. There's plenty of low-hanging fruits everywhere who wouldn't mind giving you pretend compassion, who wouldn't mind giving you pretend intimacy, who wouldn't mind giving you pretend love in an empty shell, because that will cause you to continue in an empty life. So I'm going to kick it into fourth gear here. All right, now we're in fourth gear before we get to the fifth gear. Listen, for you men who are in that situation, all right, and you don't mind finding that proper girl, or you want to be with these women, and you know that they have the potential of being Agent Smith, of destroying your success, of crippling the foundation that you make, and you feel as if you're upset because you can't trust them. You're upset because you don't see them as you used to. You see them for what they really are, okay, on a general basis, all right? We are giving you red pill solutions to your situation. Whereas you can have one eye closed, but you definitely have one eye open at all times, where you're not bonding yourself down to any type of limitations or crippling your success. Okay, where you have to as I told you before, you respect them, but you give them what they give you. Meaning, if that's their level of expectation in your relationship, that's the same thing that you give unto them. And it's easy to read a person when you have your standards and you have principles. When you have a certain standard of how you keep your relationships, or how you want this girl to present herself to you, you stay on that expectation as a contract that you abide by, not a state contract, not a government contract, your contract. Whereas when she begins to violate your contract, when she begins to change, automatically that should let you know that she is on the path of transforming to Agent Smith. She's on the path to destroying you. Sometimes it can happen overnight. Sometimes it can happen in that particular week. But if you keep your guard up at all times, you can prevent yourself from getting hurt or deceived. Now, first of all, you have to know history, men. You have to know history. You got to go back to where women used to be a certain way, where homes used to be a certain way, where it was mom and dad at home, where it was man and woman at home, whether they were married or not, to raise up these kids with balance, so they can have an experience with estrogen and testosterone energy. They can be with the masculine male and they can be with the feminine male. Well, you could say that because it actually is womb man, a man with a womb, if you really want to be technical, but y'all not ready for that yet, so I ain't gonna throw that at you, okay? But with a lady, with a feminine female, okay, female, not F-E-E, or just F-E, male, okay, then they have a different perspective out of life. They have a different experience where things turned out to be a little bit better, where you didn't have so many 13-year-old kids who are impregnating their own mother or other women. You didn't have so many teenage girls and boys who was getting in relationship with teachers, and the list goes on. You didn't have so many mall violences. You didn't have so many younger generations who were in the face of criminal charges before they even had a chance or the legal obligation to themselves. Okay? So there is a track record to this. There are breadcrumbs everywhere. So therefore, when you are aware of these changes, when you have a good sight of history, you know what you're dealing with today. And what you're dealing with today, with that knowledge, is going to give you an opportunity to put on your armor and shield while you are out there trying to achieve your life, or trying to achieve yourself, trying to bring yourself up to be the best yet you can be. And I will tell you again, before we get to the fifth gear, and I'm going to keep reminding you, you don't always have to have a purpose. Sometimes there is no purpose. You just simply live your life the best way that you can. Just enjoy yourself. Live, love, and laugh. Just live, love, and laugh, Neo, and you're going to be okay. Now we're going to go ahead and kick this into the fifth gear. All right. So I'm going to give you some examples and take this quite further so we can confirm your empowerment, confirm that you've learned something, and confirm you being better with your understanding. So therefore, you don't need to be frustrated. You don't need to become different than what you really want to be, because knowing these facts will change you. Knowing that you have to protect yourself will change you. Knowing that you've been deceived will change your mind. Then it starts bridging your mind to anger. It starts making you angry at people. You'll be short-tempered. You'll be short in your communication, and you will stop trusting any and everybody. Okay, and it will change you. But here's a trick behind all that. Okay, it's very simple. Like, for example, being alpha for myself. When I say that I am alpha, first of all, it's for you teaching and learning, and I give you several examples. All right. But this doesn't mean I walk around beating on my chest. This doesn't mean I walk around and try to be the best man in the room. It doesn't mean I try to be the tallest, the biggest, the strongest. It doesn't mean that I say that I can do more than what everybody can do in the room. Okay. What I mean by alpha in my definition is being great in your circle, being the best at who you are and what you do, where naturally you'll begin to stand out. You'll begin to be better, not better than them who are around you. You'll become the exception to the rule. You'll become the guy who's going to outlast, or you'll be the smartest, or you have more potential. Like, there was this gentleman who I played Halo with. We were good at playing Halo, first person shooter, right? And, me knowing my potential, being good at what I do, being well experienced, having the knowledge and the wisdom. Okay. So, this guy, he was a loudmouth. He was claiming to be the best. He was claiming to be able to defeat me and to win and to succeed and survive, so forth and so on. So he's yelling and he's being very boastful. He's beating on his chest. So you would think that he will be the alpha because he's yelling, he's beating his chest like a monkey, like an ape. Okay. And he's hooping and he's hollering and he's stepping his feet on the ground, and every victory that he makes, he feels proud about his victory, and he boasts himself. But at the same time, I was quiet as alpha, red pill, the lead, or the man in the middle. I'm quiet. I'm not saying anything, a thing. So he continues on, and what happens is he runs out there in the game and he loses. He gets shot up by the enemy in Halo, right? And he ends his success in the game, meaning he stops early. His game is over. But I continue. I'm going on. I haven't lost like one life. Okay, and I'm gathering points, and the game continues, and I'm going on to the next level, Okay, and he lost at the same time, and it was the same way when we were doing two-play, not co-op, but a team battle where we had to go against each other. It was head-to-head combat. So here he is beating on his chest again. He's, I'm tough and I'm better and I'm better. Okay, all right, fair enough. I don't say anything. So I step onto the scene in the challenge, and I'm quiet as a mouse. I'm just smiling, got a smile on my face. I'm like, okay, come on. So he loses. We put a scoreboard up there to reach to 40. Whoever reaches 40 wins. That's 40 kills, right? And you have on there how many times that you have lost on there. Okay. I've lost only 1 or 2 times. Every other time was a victory for me. So I reached 40 before him. He only got me twice. Okay. In the entire match. And I didn't say anything. So he feels bad about himself. And let's give you another example. Okay, like a movie that some of you've watched. It's called Biker Boys. On Biker Boys. Okay, another alpha move was the elder guy. I forgot what his name was in the movie. He was going against the younger guy. The younger guy was boasting towards the end of the movie. He had a loud mouth. He really thought he was tough. He's the same type of person who, I'm tough. I'm the alpha now because I make money, because I'm rich, because I'm this and that. I'm capable of whatever the case may be. Right? But the elder guy, he was quiet. He was like, "Kids, you don't know what you're getting yourself into." You know, he had his nice shades on. The gentleman who played Morpheus of Who I Am. Okay, that gentleman who played Morpheus. And so he's calm about it. So he says, "Okay, you really want to challenge? You really want to do this?" And he's thinking to himself, "I can win because I've been doing this for a long time. I'm alpha. You know, there's a reason why I'm in this position." That's what he told him. There's a reason why I'm the king of this, right? But the boy didn't want to listen. He's beating on his chest like a monkey. "I can beat you. Come on. I'm tough now. I got a new bicycle and man, I'm just riding, man. I've been beating and winning all the time and I can beat you now." So he's feeling good to himself. So what did the alpha man do? He said, "Okay, well, I don't say I didn't warn you." So he challenges him during the bike race, right? And he zones in. And if you notice towards the end, he actually let the boy win. He let off of the throttle so he can pass him by. The reason is he wanted him to earn his victory, even though he didn't earn it by actually beating the alpha. He earned it only because he tried. He earned it because the alpha, which was the guy in the lead, the king rider, is because he's seen that the boy had ambition, because the boy had potential. The boy worked his way to that point and he felt good about his position, but that doesn't mean that he beat the alpha. Okay, so in this particular lesson, I'm telling you, being the alpha doesn't mean that you're going to win all the time. Sometimes you got to take the passenger seat. I don't mean the passenger seat of your life, not that. The passenger seat of the situation. Sometimes you got to be quiet. Sometimes you have to lose to win. Sometimes you got to be calm to win the situation. Sometimes you got to just sit down and let things be to be victorious. Sometimes you got to be the one who has the lesser score. Sometimes you got to let the other team make the passes and make the score. And you say, "Okay, may the best man win," and let them think that they're the best man. Let them think that they are truly victorious. Let them think that they have earned the victory. Whereas you know personally for yourself, you know that you're the king. You know that you are powerful. You know that you could win if you want to. Okay. And it's like that. It's been like that in many of my competitions and many of my teachings, and being a martial arts teacher and being a physical trainer, so forth and so on. There are times where I have to lift a lighter weight on purpose to let that person think I'm at their level. Sometimes I have to lessen my aggressive potential when I'm doing martial arts training to let them think that I am at their level, only to help them come up, only to help them win and be victorious. See, the thing is, the trick is, our perception of alpha is messed up. Our perception of masculinity is messed up as well. Because when you are a man, and I don't want to go too far, when you are a man and you are alpha, you can't help but be masculine. It comes one in one with each other. Contrary to what people may say. Okay, you can't be alpha and not be masculine. And yet I can understand that in a degree, depending on where you are in the country. Okay, you may be the only man in the room and you're alpha at what you be, but you're looking at it from the shallow water part of it. I'm looking at this to the greater detail. Okay, because we don't need to be confused even further. When you are a man in a room of men, okay, and you are masculine and you have a potential of being alpha in your masculinity, you're still going to be alpha in your circles, in your situation. You still have great potential and you still have to apply the lessons that I have spoken unto you. Sometimes you have to lose to win, because oftentimes when you get in a zone like that around people or men who has full testosterone, okay, and they think all of them think that they're right. Now you're going to be in a room of monkeys that are all beating their chests and they need to prove something. But what did I teach you before in the audio? You don't have to prove yourself to anyone if you know your potential. Sometimes just walking away is good enough. I've been in many situations where there's a room of men beating their chests and everybody wants to prove how tough they are and who's the best. I'm usually the first one to pick up a card and say, "I'm out. I ain't got time for this. Y'all kids can play in this sandbox. I got better things to do," because I don't need, nor do I have anything to prove to anybody but myself. That's what it means to be alpha. You know who you are. You don't need to rip your shirt off and prove that you're more chiseled than everybody. You're sharper than everybody. You're smarter than everyone, that you can win. You don't even have to win oftentimes. Oftentimes, you just got to let that victory go and keep it moving, because it's a toxic situation. You got to know how to hold them and to fold them. So in this situation where you are trying to find purpose in your life, when you are trying to find a direction with yourself, and as women are going the opposite direction, when you are finding out you're deceived by weak parents who are blue pill providers, who made you to be who you are, and others, there's no need to be upset. All you could do, again, what you'll do is this: you be you while you are being you and the best that you can, and you protecting yourself, as what I told you against Agent Smith, and you're building your island and your fortress and the best you. Okay, what you do is you keep your sensors up for that special moment, for that special one, for that special girl, for that special job, for that special position that just may come available one of these days, who just may come across you one of these days. The time when you won't be able to see it is when if you are bitter, if you allow yourself to be engulfed with emotions and anger because of the lies and deceptions in this environment, bad information and ignorant people. Okay, if you allow yourself to be caught up in the negative gossip, if you allow yourself to be weakened by the poisonous pills that Agent Smith give you to distort your third eye and your awareness, when that woman comes, when the opportunity presents itself, when they are standing in your face, you will not be able to notice them. You will not be able to accept them because you have been deceived enough and you have been jaded enough. You have been so lackadaisical and so angry enough where you won't even accept the right thing if the right thing is there before you. All right. So when you often hear people say about this person is jaded, being jaded, okay, meaning rigid, you don't care, you are absent of compassion, you're not interested in even engaging in any type of intimacy or compassion, where you're to the point of bitterness. When you are at that point, you want everybody to be like you. When you're at that point, you're not going to be a positive seed provider. You're going to be a negative seed provider. You're going to be the one to spew gossip. You're going to be the one who is not going to be able to laugh, love, and live. You're going to be the one who's going to make bad girls out of good girls. You'll be the one who don't mind just donkey dunking and throwing them to the river and continuing the cycle of the distortion that you forgot that you was totally against to begin with. So you end up being Batman, who's going to try to destroy enemies, but yet you get so used to being Batman destroying enemies where you become the enemy yourself. This is something that Batman said. I think it was in Batman 2 or 3. He said, oftentimes we have to be careful as heroes, because what we'll do is we'll get so used to and get so comfortable in destroying enemies and being a fighter, where in the end we'll become the enemy and we will become the agents of destruction, because that's all we know how to do. Because all we're doing is destroying. All we're doing is just attacking enemies, and we become used to it. And sometimes we start liking it. We start liking revenge. We start loving the revenge that we create on people, our society. We love revenge. We love getting back at people to the point where now we go above and beyond to where we become the enemy. That's what Batman said. So therefore, you become counterproductive towards you trying to make yourself available for that proper person or that proper situation. Okay? So therefore, I've seen many who've been in this situation where they've gone past the red pill, past being black pill. They're completely angry to where they're jaded now, where they don't want to be engaged with anyone. You know, they're completely upset with the world and all they think about is them. It's a me situation where it's almost just plain selfishness, where the concern is not for anyone else because they always think everything is after them. Everything is at them. You know, everything isn't going to benefit them regardless. So what happens is they become jaded. What happens is they become the evil Batman now. Now they are Venom instead of being the good Spider-Man with the red suit. And you don't want to go that far. It goes that far when you don't give yourself a filter. The filters is the acknowledgments, empowerment that I've given you. I've given you and still will give you keys in every audio and every step of the way, Mr. Neo. So therefore, you're not going to end up jaded. You're not going to fall to the wayside where you just completely distrust. You completely are done with, period, with whatever opportunities or people who you come around, because those opportunities will come. And when you have those blinders on and you're angry and you're upset, your opportunities will not be there for you because you will pass them by and you will destroy an otherwise good thing or a good woman or a good chance at getting what you may need to give you a greater purpose in yourself. And again, like I said, purpose is a personal perception based on the individual. It's based on you. You give yourself an identity of what purpose is. Your purpose doesn't mean it have to be like everybody else's, like being a lawyer, a doctor, a judge, being a police officer, helping people, being a nurse, so forth and so on. You know, providing something for other people. Sometimes your purpose is just to find out what's comfortable for you, or to find out what's best for you and what works out for you, whatever that you are content with for the time that you are here on earth. You don't have to be saving lives. You don't have to be changing people's lives. Oftentimes, it's not even about that. It's about what you decide to do for yourself based on your soul and based on what you think your directives is, not what other people think, what other people will make you think that what they think is important for you to be doing. Okay, basically, you're following their instructions or their opinions. Follow your own instructions, follow your own opinion, and you follow what you think is best for you. And whatever information that you gather might just give you some enlightenment, and it will inspire you to go to greater heights and better places. So far be it, be very weary of being jaded and bitter, and get away from being upset that women are that way now, that your opportunities and chances of a successful relationship is far and few in between. Okay, yes, be the best that you can be. Follow a purpose that you think your purpose is based on what you design, what you create as a man. But at the same time, keep your ears to the ground just in case the sky splits open, just in case that one of a million opportunity comes, and just in case it will work out perfectly for you. All right, that should give you power, and that as well would give you a purpose that you're going to find in its own form and fashion. This is Leon C., aka Morpheus, your empowerment provider. And as you get better, I get better. Constantly read that book, 2020, America Rise or Fall Hard, and stay tuned and subscribe so we can continuously free ourselves from the matrix of destruction.